We are live. Okay, well, welcome back to our next, oh, wait till they're done over here. Okay, so, welcome back to the budget workshop. Mayor's gonna be popping in. He's over at the planning meeting tonight. James is not available tonight. Now, a few departments to line up, so let's start with, Town Hall building first. Mike.
Mike Mascot, Facilities Manager for the Town Hall. We'll start with the regular payroll. This is myself, John Roden. The contractual raises in there. So fortunately, we increased that. And 5 maintenance contracts that have no increases at all, the same numbers as last year. So, if there's any questions on any of those maintenance contracts in line, we have the answer. Some of us know the
Okay,
generated contract. Yeah, that's not it. No.
okay, I think, did Bob Ness have his hand up?
No, I'm good right now.
Okay, no, the mouse said a hand next to your name, Bob.
Yeah, it did. I was trying to get in. I just got in. Thank
Okay,
you.
good. Thanks, Bob. Okay, good. So any questions for Mike?
That was an
Yo.
easy one.
Yeah, it's pretty standard, so,
Good job.
okay, good. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
What's up?
Good job, sir.
Okay,
See you later. See ya.
Jim, you're up, information technology.
Okay.
Yes, you got a little more detail here.
All right, so we'll start at the top, just to kind of give you a little overview. So we get payroll. Obviously, I have a contractual increase, and Howard and Lee are both at the university for the non-union salary review board. That kind of just takes care of the personnel piece. Getting into the nitty gritty, we have several new items, but none of them are overly large. We've got a new scan and download software that we're going to be testing out at the police department, and if it works out well there, then we will deploy townwide in the following fiscal year. Chief McAllister asked if we could try it out on him. Next new item, we've got the VPN, the key fobs that we use for our VPN access. This was something that was put together through COVID. That's these little RSA keys. Anybody who has remote access to this building and the network has one. If you do not have one, you do not get in. We were on a 3-year commitment with them. This is for the next year, going into year 4. We did this in 2020 as part of COVID and part of our cybersecurity and cyber liability stuff. It starts going down from there. Those are the 2 biggest ones. We've got some software for the police department with electronic roll call, the assessors data books, the National Association for Depreciation, as well as the drone software, some IP cameras at fire, and some survey software that we are currently using right now, which is last year when we had the budget. PD has a $9,900 increase for some recoil cameras, which are the cameras that are mounted on the deck lids of the cruisers to be able to scan license plates as they're driving. And probably tool and find people that are not registered, uninsured, etc.
How many do we have then?
We're looking to get them on all the cruisers. So we've got probably 25 to 30 of them. We're going to have
I didn't think we had 30 people. Time at any different time.
well, they're on each individual that's there. So I can verify with Chief McAllister the exact quantity of them. I know from a patrol officer's perspective, They may be confusing that with some body. That one is very, very complicated. The recoil cameras are fixed to an actual patrol vehicle. The number of vehicles has been a moving target, so I can get that for you. if you'd like.
Oh, no, I was just curious because if we, I mean, they use, I'm gonna say 6 per shift, let's just say. But I thought that the patrol vehicles just get used, they're not assigned to a person, so they
They're
can.
not, but we're adding more to them so that they're sergeant in charge as one of the vehicle and any other vehicles that are on the route will also have them.
I just question like why that's needed for just any vehicle.
I know the cruisers are not used every shift.
You know, I agree with the cruisers, absolutely, I have no question whether the cruiser is working or having a day off or whatever, the cruiser is one thing, but any random police vehicle, I don't know why we would need it on every single
And that-
vehicle.
I'll get a more detailed description
Yeah,
from
please.
Chief McAllister and I'll
That's
just
fine.
forward it up to
That's
Kenny.
pretty good.
Okay, that's good.
Those are for park. You're not gonna see that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, I mean, I don't see how we have 25 police cruisers.
Unfortunately, I'm not in the fleet.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, that's
when
fine.
they requested it.
I think we're, Diane, I think we're replacing 6 a year on a 6-year cycle. So,
Do we have to replace the camera every time we replace the vehicle?
no, what I'm saying is that gives you the overall quantity.
Right.
And so they're just probably adding 5, the final 5 to get them all rounded out.
Yeah, I
You
just
can't
like to
move them
know.
around, they have to
Sure.
stay mounted on the vehicle.
No, I agree with that, no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, if there's a vehicle that's sitting there, I wanna make sure that what we're putting the money into is going to be of good value and use. And not just sitting in the parking lot and then, okay, we're gonna use this car today. Okay.
I'll get a better
Well,
description
none
from
of
Colin.
quote unquote spare cars have these.
Yeah.
It's
just wanna
only
make
pretty
sure, yeah.
active.
Well, Jim will get that answer. If he sends it to me, I'll send it out to everybody.
Thank you.
And then we have The PD's meeting here next week. We can also bring it up with Colin next week.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Okay, thank you.
We have, 2 more with the data, which is our backup appliance. We use one here for the town as well as the police department. We upgraded to new appliances and we have additional software expenses that go along with those. Another item that was up a little bit more was, the Adobe Acrobat Pro, which we're deploying across the entire accounting department. As it's become a pretty regular occurrence that we're having to create forms and do other things that people actually do them themselves. Those licenses are about $400 a piece, but once you have them, it's one time.
It's really, really important that we get to a place where we're digital everything. And we're not, even with paper, when we're running on an audit and they're asking us for information, especially the feds or the state, we're actually moving digital documents back and forth that we're presenting for audits. And we're doing one right now for FEMA and for the CARES Act. They're finally auditing everything from COVID. And they're doing a complete document audit. So it just helps us to have everything digitized.
Thank you, Allison. We had a little bit of an increase in the Axon software, some of the maintenance support. These are getting smaller and smaller, so I'm not getting super detailed. They break down to, $800 to $500 that we've added. Even Zoom had a price increase of a few $100s that went through. We've had pages pretty much at the bottom of 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 and the beginning part of 9 are all flat from a maintenance contract perspective. And we had the live scan maintenance, we dropped it $1,700. There was a shift in the fingerprint system, the way that it's being handled, and we were actually a little bit of a savings, so we got $1,700.
Do we use Microsoft Word, Windows applications looking at stuff?
Yes.
So is there a reason why we don't use Teams within Microsoft and we we choose to use Zoom and pay the fee?
It's a different license, and when there are some dollars that are in the budget to start moving to a full Office 365 suite, which will then provide us with the actual Office software and includes Teams and several other pieces for licensing, but you will end up paying for it somewhere. So yes, we are paying $7,000-ish for Zoom, but I would be paying about another $10,000 or $12,000 for Office, so the offset is. So, and what I have learned over the last 3 years, and I've used them all that are on there, is Zoom is what they call a lighter client. Doesn't take up as much resources on the computer. It's quicker and smoother. Teams is very heavy. It's a long time to load. And if you don't have sufficient resources on your actual document, that you're using,
You have to actually have the 365.
yes, it will actually live in your meeting. You'll be all choppy like you are back 5 years ago.
Hey, Jim, I also believe Zoom is easier for members of the public to come in and participate in a meeting over Teams.
Yeah. We'll probably hold on to Zoom even if we have to. We can use Teams internally, but we're gonna get it.
Where I work, we're split between Zoom and Teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Zoom has stepped up their game over the years. I mean, it was a much more watered down version back in April 2020 when we first jumped on to what they're offering right now. I mean, they expanded their base. We're not expanding with them. We're just keeping the Zoom meeting. But it's a lot more secure, a lot easier to use, and now that we're up and running, those of us that are using it on a regular basis monthly, it's okay.
We use Teams at the ambulance, and I still haven't figured it out.
You should call, I'll help you.
Yeah,
We only use Teams at a company. And I see it was before initially, lot were using Zoom, and I see a lot of companies that I work with going to Zoom. And I don't know why I don't, that other stuff I don't know.
Well, with Teams, if you're in a larger company, my wife's in a larger company, and
Yeah, our
they use
company
Teams.
uses
Yes, they use it for, instant messaging, they'll do phone calls through it, not just video meetings, but they'll use it for chat
Mhm.
and everything. And we use Zoom for basically for video recording and for online meetings. And
Mhm.
because of that, it's a much smaller setup. The more you add to it and the bigger it gets, the more they have to put around it, and you have to constantly update it.
Yeah, this may not be the place for it, that's your
Yeah.
decision, but I'm just saying, I see more companies going to, Zoom on the outside, that's all.
Hey, Jim, we got a question from Bob Neff.
Certainly.
oh, sure, go ahead, Bob.
Jim, quick question on these maintenance contracts. Notice that, you're up, a little money this year from last year. How are these contracts bid out? Are they bid out annually for pricing? Because I know that we've changed contracts over the last few years, and I've noticed that line has gone from, 488,000 back in 21-22 to we're up to 850,000 now. How are those contracts done on an annual basis as far as getting quotes? That's the first question. Second question is, whoever is presenting, if you're not near the microphone, you're very tough to hear. And I've got my volume up pretty good.
All right, well, I'll try to face the mic. It's actually further away from me than any given Tuesday night. So to answer your first question, most of the IT contracts are state contracts. The largest amounts that have brought it forward over the last couple of years have been the Axon body cam contracts that were state mandated. Back a couple of years ago, Hartford sent down and said that every municipality will have a body cam for every officer that could possibly be in the policing capacity. So that takes it from your standard patrol officer and the cruisers all the way to the chief. So even Chief McAllister has a body cam that he's required to wear if there's any possibility that he could be in a policing type requirement. So even if he came to a meeting, he will probably have his body cam with him because we never know when something's gonna pop up and he'll have to go on scene. And basically, if the key's on the radio, it starts recording. That was about 300,000, 400,000 of our contractual increases over the last 3 to 4 years. This year's increase being, at about 47,000 is probably the lowest increase I've had in 5 years. And that's just pretty much cost of living as well as CPI. Not a lot of them, do we bid them out? I re-quote them every year, but I re-quote them on the state contracts, whether they're state of Connecticut, NASCO, WISCA, or any other purchasing consortium that's already been approved by the Board of Mayor Burgesses in typically June or July of that fiscal year. Does that help?
Thanks. Thanks,
Okay.
Jim. I guess my other question would be to Allison is that since the state comes in and mandates all these fancy things for us and increases our budget yearly, are they going to also send us some money to take care of the state mandates? I guess that's a foolish question, but I have to ask it because it's foolish half the time when the state mandates a lot of things on towns that the towns can't afford.
Unfortunately, Bob, it's an unfunded mandate.
Yeah, I get it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Jim, anything else?
Any other questions?
Jim, how many drones do we have?
We have, to my knowledge, we have 1 drone, but we might have a backup. I know we crashed one, and we got a replacement for it. There is software in there for this year to be able to have, better reporting, zooming capability, streaming capability from that drone. The drone's right now located at PD, and, they're the ones that fly it. Some of the stuff that I've worked on with our, web designer through Destination Nocturne, he has his own drone, so he's going to use footage from that. I've not actually flown our drone, but Captain Bass does.
I was just wondering because if it's made in China or Russia, very soon we're not gonna be able to use it.
Correct, I don't know the answer to
The
that.
feds
If
are
you want
passing
to know,
along,
I
the
will
states are
find
passing.
out where it actually is.
That leaves out about 99.
The DJI zones specifically are getting, looks like they're getting banned in the United States,
Okay. Gotta love it.
which is what I have.
Anything else for Jim? So, I was coming in the gym, how long you been with the town now?
I've been in the town for 18 and a half years.
And we've seen
So
some-
I appreciate everybody, and we have come a tremendous way since my very first budget presentation in 2006. I sat here with Ray and Wayne McAllister, and I had no idea what was going on. It was my first year science.
Yep.
You remember me stuttering along through it, because I was scared to death.
Did I say that out loud?
Thanks, Bert, Stan Bosky.
Did I say that out loud?
And mine come a long way.
But
We have.
just for your department's come a long way from
We
one
have
servant to what we
definitely
have.
grown, and, we touch every department
Yeah, we
at
do.
this particular point. It's,
I mean, I talk to you probably 3 times a week.
we,
Not
I
actually,
do
so,
speak to you, frequently. I speak with Allison, even more than that.
yeah, there you go.
She's on my speed dial, so she's actually, it pops up like.
We
"You have a
text,
favorite?"
we
Believe it
talk,
or not, I talked to Allison Bruce.
we send emojis.
No, but I think the biggest change we had was when, I think it was you, Allison, that had all the maintenance contracts that all the departments had and brought them under your umbrella. I
Yes.
think that was the
It's
best.
been
thing.
huge, it's been a huge improvement.
To get it all into one area, because you had every other department trying to sell you on different areas of IT, which I was talking about, but they couldn't answer half of the. So, thinking of Allison, taking all the IT and having it all in one area.
Yeah.
Just makes more sense, as I understand a little bit more to answer your questions, and that way the department heads, they just, what we're doing when we're doing it. Whether it's GPS for public works, whether it's drones or body cams for the police department, or it's laptops and software for accounting.
Mhm.
It's a lot easier to have it centrally managed and centrally located.
Yes.
That took a little bit of time, there was a lot of shit, but I'm glad you guys saw that we saved it from one department, we added it to another. Overall, the budget, it stayed.
Okay, any more questions for Jim? Okay, thanks, Jim.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Allison, do you want to do, for finance and then the wage increases?
Sure, I'd be honored.
Okay, it's all yours.
So finance, we had an up to contract settlement. We have 2 additional people doing tuition reimbursement this year, and 1 additional person qualifies for longevity this year. Those are my increases.
Okay. Everything else, pretty much contractual increases there.
Right.
Any questions for Allison? Okay. He's gonna write it.
I have one question, just an explanation. You know, that we have some newer members too, is on the contract increases, could you explain how that is different from the, the other increases, the non-union, increases and the union projected increases?
So
We
depending
have
upon,
two other- Yeah,
depending upon each individual bargaining unit that I was negotiating, they had more 1 fiscal year or up to 3 fiscal years that the contracts were getting negotiated for. So the difference on here is because there was a retro made and it was more than
Local
1
finance.
year behind. in
We
the
did IT already, so it's
negotiation.
just the finance department and
I was
then
just.
Is that what
saying
you're,
non-union.
Yeah,
Does
just-
that
just
answer
in
what
case
Land use.
Somebody has that question.
understood?
When we get to the next.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Let's go right into those. Hi, Lauren. You're coming up next. You're in a few minutes. Good timing.
For non-union, I received an estimate from John Lawler. It's down about 19,000 from last year on our projected increases for non-union increases. And we're down about 39,000 in the union because we were only dealing with fire this year.
Good. So the contract is up.
Okay?
Okay. Any other questions for Allison on finance, wage increases? Okay, Laurie, it's all yours. Perfect timing.
So first thing is our regular payroll, that increased, by 12,686, that was due to obligation for union contract. I also have an overtime line in here this time. What happened was we now are in charge or have, we're staffed to the Fair Rent Commission. And with that, we have, Heather Mueller from the building department doing our minutes for that meeting. Michelle in my office already does 5 commissions meetings, so Michelle, Heather's doing that, so we averaged out about that much for the year, if that. We don't meet that often. Nothing else was increased. Except for we are looking to put in shelving, we're running out of space in our office. So we were looking at the shelving that the engineering department has, and files in different way, more. And that's basically a due. One of the dues went up about $40. I called all or emailed all the others that we have, and nobody was increasing the dues. Except I think with the American Finance Association. Basically, it's the same budget as last year.
And you see 4,000 for blight remediation. That's what we did last year too.
Hold on.
Yes.
White in land use budget?
Well, that's what I was just,
What?
I just, yeah, right here. Blight remediation, 4,000.
Always been there.
Always 4,000.
I thought we were gonna put it all in one place.
We haven't made that decision, so we
We
will.
made the decision, we just didn't implement it.
Well, then we need to navigate.
I
How
know.
we're going to do that.
Yeah, so, I would say take it out of here for now, and we will, when we get to the appropriate spot, we'll discuss it.
So it's out of my department.
You wanna be in charge of blight? Okay.
Hey,
All right.
So Blight's gonna be taken out.
The $4,000 for blight remediation, the bottom of page 3.
It'll show up somewhere else.
We're always welcome.
So refresh my recollection, didn't we talk about this?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, so where were we then and what did we do?
I know it was 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember
Right.
where you guys said it was going, but I do
Right.
remember.
We wanted to go we want it to go wherever we said 2 weeks ago.
I don't think we had,
'Cause that's a
So we
I don't know if we put a number on it, but,
We talked about the housing 2 weeks ago.
right.
right, but I don't think we actually said.
No.
I don't think we navigated there because there's 4 categories that we're trying to work with.
Right.
And I wasn't sure whether we decided to keep them all in one place or split them off.
No, they should all, I would say they should all be in one place. And it should be tied to our committee of every department. It's almost townwide in a way. Maybe it should go townwide.
That'd be a good place for it, yeah.
Same cast of characters.
But that 88,000 number kills me.
Which one?
The one that we, so far this year.
Say that again?
The 88,000 that we've spent so far is crazy.
Well, we got a lot back.
No, I know, I
Yeah.
realize that, but
Yeah,
still.
we gotta put it
it's
out
still,
and get it
yeah.
back.
But can I tell you something? In the last year, we have had, as Fran said before, a very large number of incidents, and we've had some very unusual situations with mental health, and we've had some very difficult people that we've been navigating through the process with. And we also have some confusing state laws that need to be clarified. And when you put the whole thing together, it was a real can of worms. It just so happened that everything happened in one calendar year. Nothing happened in 8 preceding years.
Chief Banks and Chief Russell will tell you that in all the years they've been on, they've never seen a year like this.
So Diane, in the past 4 months, we've had 3 people try to light their house on fire while they were in it, and 1 person try to light themselves on fire, of mental health issues, and
Yeah.
that's,
Oh, no, I'm not.
So I'm serious,
questioning-
but-
no, I'm not questioning the number, I'm
No,
just saying.
to
it's
say that
like,
we've had an
when you
unusual,
Look at it, it's like.
but in my 30 years, we never had that happen in 6 months. Those are years apart for those.
Yeah.
Now, everything's
Yeah, no,
happening.
It's not a question or anything, it's just like, you see it,
It's a big number.
it's a big number for, and I understand, you're right, Mayor, we do get a lot of it back, but still, we're not gonna get it all back, but, you know.
And I will say, keep the fingers crossed that as of March 1st, we have a no
Hey.
longer housing.
Yay.
I could fix that for you,
I really would.
No.
When I saw your email over the weekend, I got nervous.
Yeah, we're good so far. Okay, so any other questions for Lori? Because you have to get back to planning. You know, you're done? Planning's done?
Well, Go ahead, me do something.
Okay, well, they're good. Okay, next week on the 11th, we're doing police department. That's really an important one. If you can please try and make that one. Library and animal control. That's it. And that will adjourn the meeting. Motion to adjourn at 6:59.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good record, huh?
Yeah, well.
Yeah.